thank you so much to all the witnesses for coming today and enlightening us. One of the things that Minister Champagne told us was that the list is being prepared with the other Five Eyes countries. Will the list, when it is fully developed, will it be shared with the other Five Eyes countries? Is there any possibility that the Five Eyes will use the same list?
I think countries will make choices for themselves depending on who is active in their country and the kinds of things that they feel they need to protect, and Canada will make its own choices based on our ecosystem. But certainly that information is shared, and as I said earlier, we try to learn best practices from one another in that respect.
And how often will the list be looked at again? As Monsieur Vigneault has said, the situation is constantly evolving. Will there be a time frame for review?
So in that respect, the list will remain evergreen. We will be constantly looking at entities that are operating in our environment and looking at the technologies that come to the fore, and we will keep that list evergreen.
And perhaps just as reassurance, I assume that the list is not only focusing on China, that it is in fact country agnostic.
That is correct.
Thank you. In terms of your outreach to industry, the private sector, Monsieur Vigneault, you did allude, as did Ms. Giles, to a lot of consultation around some of the perhaps potentially emerging threats. You've mentioned vaccines, and I'm clearly very interested in the health side of things. Is this something where you look at previous investments in research in Canada by these industries, or are you sort of casting a wider net to brief the private sector?
So, Mr. Chair, the way we look at it is twofold. One, it will be from an assessment point of view, see the behavior, so past behavior of different actors. It'd be able to determine, how they would adapt their tactics given the intent that they have, and therefore be able to zero in on the type of companies or research sector that may be at risk. So that is one approach. So using the information we already have. And the other one, of course, is our own investigations and partnerships with our international partners. I can tell you that all of the discussions I have with we have at CSIS, official relationship with over 300 different organizations around the world, intelligence services around the world. And so a lot of these discussions turn around exchanging information to better understand the specific threat vectors. So we use both the analysis of previous information plus new information we collect in Canada ourselves or abroad, and information from international partners. So that's what builds the environment that gives the opportunity for our great analysts at CSIS to be working with all of our partners to then determine, what are the right place and the right actors where would have the most impact of our engagement to mitigate that threat.
And once the list has been established, will there be any looking retrospectively? Supposing there is a specific institution that suddenly appears is on the list. Is there any thought to look retrospectively at previous or ongoing research that is in process to assess whether there is a threat from that potentially ongoing research?
Again, I think we need to be conscious that playing field is going to change all the time, and so we need to be not just looking forward, but indeed look at what's going on now and make sure that we have fully assessed the threats that may exist to Canada.
I think that's a very important point. Actually, because we've been hearing everything about applications to the alliance granting agencies, etc. But surely there is a risk of something that is currently ongoing. In process.
Yep.
Yeah.